You can't see him?
I'm Malka.
You see yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Where's
Hi,
Malka?
Menu.
Oh,
Hi, Menu.
Malka, you look nice. You look beautiful.
Come sit.
I can't hear what he said.
So he says you look beautiful.
Oh my goodness. This hair, I did. My makeup, I did.
I didn't.
Malka, that's a
okay,
pre-birthday
let's get the show on the road. Let's go.
Menu's talking.
No, we're gonna start.
Menu, what I
3
didn't
minutes.
hear what Menu said.
Look how nice she looks. She looks like my sister, and it's almost her birthday.
Do you see me?
Yeah, my birth.
Yeah.
What?
Ruthie,
Menu, do you see? Menu.
Ruthie, I just what? Yes.
Malkala. Hi, Malkala.
Yeah.
I don't say hello. I want to say hello to Malkala and Estrella. Menu, where's Sheila?
What do you want? He's in Israel.
So we have to call Sheila.
She knows about it. Dear goodness.
Well,
Okay.
Sheila's got it.
Okay.
I get it from
See yourself, mommy? There you are.
Hi, Estrella.
Okay, let's start. Before
We're
our
going to
thing
start
goes-
at 6 o'clock. It's another 2 minutes. I have.
Okay. Can I just
the
say
family's
something,
gonna come on at
Yeah.
6. I'm gonna
Svi,
send
I
out
spoke to Celine. Excuse
Does your
me.
father see?
Svi, we have to get in touch with Sheila. I spoke to Celine this morning.
Hello?
Okay.
So I have to call
sending
him.
I'm going to send him now the link again. While we're talking, I'm sending him the link.
Joey told me he was going to do it for him. I
sending
can't
it
believe
right
this.
now, the Sands.
I put lipstick on for this.
Ruthie, you look great.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Hi, Baruch.
Whoa.
I'm happy.
Baruch.
Okay.
Oh, Baruch. You have such a white beard.
What can I do? I'm aging. What can I do?
I'm not making any comments. It's nice to see you.
You made
Hey,
one.
where are my books?
There's Hanan. Hanan.
Hey,
Okay.
how are you guys?
I want to call my children.
Let's go.
No, I want to call my kids.
Wait, it's gonna go
Put them
on.
all on. I'm
Come on,
sending it
come
all
on.
now.
Okay, let's
Yeah,
go.
but nobody's here.
Start.
Where is my family?
Okay, everybody knows
Listen.
about it.
Where's your
Everybody knows.
family?
Okay, see, let's
Where
go.
is everyone? Where is
Okay,
everyone?
Or the thing goes kilter.
I want to start the
Josh,
thing now.
do you see Josh?
Tell them, go out to the other place and go.
Salim is on.
Okay, we're 7 people. Oh, Salim's on. Hi, Uncle Salim.
Hi,
Where's Sheila? Where's Auntie Sheila?
Sheila is coming.
Your call cannot
be completed.
Hi, Salim.
Okay,
Okay, so let
Hi,
me tell
Salim.
you. Let me tell you what I'm doing now.
Go ahead.
let's
Now,
go.
order in the court.
See,
Let's.
Hi.
I'm hosting this.
Yeah.
the-
Remember, we are dealing with the Sand family.
Right.
So
I
if
could
you
mute
don't
you. I
mute-
control
mute the
your
people.
voices here. I am going to mute everyone.
That's
Okay.
it.
We're going to start this year. We have people going to say the Mishnayos. We're going to learn Mishnayos in memory of Zaidi. And then we're going to open up the forum for stories. People want to say a story or something they remember. And we're going to conclude with a very short shir that I'm going to say at the end.
That's my family.
Kaddish, because we don't have a minion here. But if we go on until 7:10, then we'll be able to say a Kaddish in our show. I'll come down with the Zoom with my show. Okay, I'm muting everyone. In order for you to talk, you have to open up your mute. Since I'm controlling it, I'll open
No,
it.
we can raise our hand. We can virtually
Okay,
raise our
start
hand.
it. Okay, please start.
the only thing, it only works if everybody is quiet while he's speaking.
No,
Otherwise,
I'm
it's
going to
gonna
mute
come
them. They
through
don't
the
have to
jumble.
you can continue talking. No one's going to hear you.
Are my kids? Are my? here? Is
No,
Josh?
only 9 participants. Not everyone's on. Yeah.
Because they don't want to be?
No,
Okay,
they
let's go.
forgot.
I
Three.
just joined us.
Three.
Okay.
See?
You're all muted now. Now listen to me. You're all muted. My father's going to start with the Mishnayos. I'm going to bring it up onto the screen, the Mishnayos that we're going to be learning. And my father's going to teach the first Mishnah. Then Baruch's going to teach the second Mishnah. Then Shai is going to teach the third Mishnah. And Kachala. This is the way we're going to. This is the way we're going to have it going. So now I'm opening up my father's speaker. Dad, you could now talk. We could hear you. I'm putting on the Mishnayos that we're going to be learning now on the screen. Hold on a second. Okay, got the screen up. Now I'm going to bring up the Mishnayos. Hold on. Share screen. And here it is. Yurtzeit. Dad, go ahead. It's Otiot Hashem Meir, the first Mishnah starting with the Ot Mem. Dad, we can't hear you.
Why did you take it down?
See you. I don't see you.
I see him.
Where?
There.
Ah, because he's doing that.
Start
Dad.
talking, Daddy.
Lilu Nishmat Meir ben ציון. Start. Malka, we can't hear Daddy. Malka. Very bad connection. We can't hear.
He's there.
Abba, כולם על השטק.
I know, but I want to put you.
Please, so you
Dad,
do it, and that's
I am doing it. My daddy is not on a shtick, and daddy can talk, but we can't hear him.
Yeah, you're talking.
So you
No,
do
but I
it.
want him to see you.
Dad, we can't hear you. Oh, you froze.
שתשתמש בפלאפון האישי של המלכה, וזהו.
They disconnected. They're trying to connect again. Okay.
מי שהיה טמא. That's the one of Daddy's, right?
Right, that's daddy. Do you see it on the screen?
Yeah. So should I say it and start, or wait for Daddy?
You're doing Olive. You're doing the next Mishnah.
I'm doing the next one?
Yeah.
Okay.
On the way to Mayor Balanes to daven for everybody.
Mayor Balanes is Yurtzeites tomorrow too, like Zadie's.
Tonight, today.
It's tonight.
אוי, חנן.
גולי. מה קורה,
Zadie's on
ברוך?
mute.
I
Daddy's
see
on mute.
Daddy. Daddy,
Daddy's
start
on mute.
reading.
He's on mute. How can he talk?
He's not on, Bichlal.
Now he's not on mute.
He's on mute.
No, he's not. He's
See
on.
him. He's not on the screen.
Auntie Malka,
Oh.
I missed you.
Oh, hi, Josh. Oh, there I see my father. He's not.
Auntie Malka, I miss you.
Okay,
Auntie
Malta,
Malka.
could you talk?
Shy, it's shy, it's shy, Shag, it's shy.
Yeah.
I'm
You
going
hear
to daven
us?
for
Now I hear you.
Ricky. I'm going to daven for Ricky and Kemerocha. And then
זה לא ייגמר ככה, צבי, אתה צריך להגיד את זה וזהו.
Dad, Dad, could you talk? Because we can't hear you. Malka,
I'm going to connect my phone. Wait.
connect your phone, okay? So I'm going to start the Mishnah. We're going to start the Mishnayos. Dad,
ראיתי.
מי זה חנן?
oh, חנן. חנן, אתה אות ריש, נכון?
אין בעיה. תגיד לי מתי אני מוכן.
אני אעלה את זה על המסך. Okay, we're going to start now. We're going to share the screen. Okay? Dad, Malka. Malka, I unmuted you. Malka, talk now. Let Daddy start talking.
Okay.
Okay, I'm muting everyone. My father's starting the Mishnayos.
Okay. Start. Talk.
Okay, does everybody, what's that? You can't talk over that.
Tzvi,
Everybody put theirs on mute unless they're speaking.
put everybody on mute.
Okay.
Everyone's
I
going
can't
on.
hear, what's the good of it? If they're all on mute.
Well, he's going to put everyone on mute.
Okay, everyone's on mute. בוא נדבר איתך אחר כך, אני באמצע משהו. Okay, Dad, start talking.
To say that it's 30 years since Daddy has passed away. And from the point of view of us, the family, we miss him today like we did when he passed away 30 years ago. His neshama should have an aliyah, and I think that the best indication of how much he is missed is the amount of participation that we see now in this Zoom thing, where we have everybody from grandchildren who were born after he passed away to all of us who are here today watching. The first Mishnah in Psachim says, Misha Yatome, O B'derech Rechoka, it came Pesach, and according to the Torah, you have to sacrifice the Korban Pesach. So a person who was Tomeh, or he was far away and was not able to get to the Beit HaMikdash, V'lo asa et harishon, and he could not make the Korban Pesach on the 14th of Nisan when he was supposed to. A person like that, Yaseh et hasheni, he has to make the Korban Pesach on the second Pesach, which is on Yudalet Iyar. Shagag, if he made a mistake and he didn't realize the date, Onanas, or he was forced because of, for some circumstances, he was unable to get there, V'lo asa et harishon, and didn't make the first Korban Pesach, Yaseh et hasheni. So what he does is he makes the Korban Pesach on the Pesach Sheni. Im kain, lama namar tameh, o shaya b'derech rechoka. So the Mishnah asks a question. If this is the case, that if he doesn't make the first, he makes the second, why does it say that if he was tomeh or if he was on a far away, she'elu pturim me'karet, ve'elu chayavim b'karet? The reason why he mentions it, even though it's obvious, is because you're potter from the onesh of Kores if you were on a derech rechoka, far away, or you were tomeh, but you were only obligated, you're only going to get the punishment of Kores if you were able to, but you did not make the korban. That's it. Mishnah Rishonah. Who is doing Mishnah Shniyah?
Okay, Baruch's doing the second one. Unmute yourself, or Chaim.
Okay, איזוהי דרך רחוקה מן המודיעים ולחוץ. I didn't, I'm going to explain you what I think it is, because I didn't really look into any commentaries or, so what I understand from this, it's the continuation of the Mishnah, what you said. So they're asking what is the long distance in order for a person that he missed, obviously, to do the Korban Pesach. צבי, תתקן אותי אם אני טועה. ככה זה מה
That's correct. That's correct.
וכמידתה לכל רוח, דברי Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva says that it's according to your distance from each side. L'kol ruach, it's probably from when you come to
every direction.
In every direction. Thank you. Rabbi Eliezer Omer. Wait, let me see. Me'askupat ha'azara velachutz. Me'askupat ha'azara. I don't know what askupat is. Amar Rabbi Yossi, לפיכך נקוד על השם לומר, לא מפני שרחוקה ודאי, אלא מאיסקופת. Wait, hey, it jumped.
Yes, kupa is the threshold, the knisa, the bottom board on the of the door.
They see you here.
Oh, here, it's back. Okay, לא מפני שרחוקה ודאי, אלא מסקופת האזהרה ולחוץ. Hello?
Skupat Azara is the place that inside the Azara there was like a fence, and
right.
Where do we measure it? We measure that when we say Derech Echukah, it's about 30 kilometers. It's a circumference from Modi'in, and you go around Yerushalayim 30 kilometers from that point in the Beis HaMikdash on Har HaBayit. That's the calculation of the distance. Someone that was considered Derech Rechokah, that was far, far away.
Okay.
Okay. Shai does the Mishnah. Hold on.
Gimel.
Do the second Mishnah. Hold on. Okay.
Can you see it? Yud.
Otiyot Yud.
Can you put it? Can you put it on the screen?
Yeah, I'm putting it on the screen. Hold on. Okay. Yud.
So Yuda, everybody hears me?
Yeah, we hear you.
So it says Yuda ben Tema Oimer, ve'az kanamer, ve'kal kanesher, ve'ratz katzvi, ve'gibor kari, la'asos ratzon avicho shebashamayim. Yuda ben Tema is telling us there's 4 things in Avodas Hashem that a person has to stick to. And the first thing he's saying is az kanamer, that a person has to be like namer, I don't know how you say in English, but a namer, they have the azus. If we check and we see it in the world, so it says that a person supposed to be az and not to have pachad when he's doing mitzvahs, because people are going to say, oh, you're doing this, you're not doing this. A person has to know to stick that what a Kodesh Baruch Hu wants with him. He has to be strong in Avodas Hashem. This is one of the things that I think that is very similar to the Yurtzeit today, because as we know, Zaidi, it doesn't matter where he was, he always did what you're supposed to do. He never did something or thought to do something if, oh, maybe someone's going to say, of course, no. Zaidi did what's supposed to do whatever he did. The mission is continuing. As ponim legenoim. This is from Genu. Ubosh is ponim leganeden. Yirotza mifonecho. Hashem Elokeinu. Shetivne yircha. Vimeiro beyomeinu. V'sein chelkeinu b'serosecho. The mission is finishing. It's saying that a person has to know that we want to be zoichet tabinen beis hamikdash to the Torah, the big Torah. So we're saying shetivne ircho. You should build his house already. B'meiro v'sen chelkeinu b'serosecho. We know that all the things for the bria is for the Torah, for the mitzvahs, for the big thing, and that's what we're hoping, that when a person is following the steps, is doing the right ways, so then a person has the schus. And that's what we should continue doing, because I think what we're doing now together, and we do it every year, but we're not stopping the nachas for Zaidi on this big day to continue to behave and to do what we're supposed to do, special in Beis Hamikdash and special with continuing and following the Torah way.
Okay, Hanan now is going to say the Mishnah on the letter Reish. I'm putting it up now. Okay, go ahead, Hanan.
רבי נחוניה בן הקנה היה מתפלל בכניסתו לבית המדרש וביציאתו תפילה קצרה. So it says that Rabbi Nechonיה used to pray when he walked into a bet midrash, he used to say a short davening. אמרו לו, מה מקום לתפילה הזו? Why do you say this תפילה? So he told them, בכניסתי אני מתפלל שלא יראה תקלה על ידי. When I come in, I pray to God that I won't do mistakes. And when I come out, אני נותן הודיה על חלקי. I give praise, thank God that he let me be a part of this Torah.
We are going to now do the 4 Mishnayot of the Neshama, Otiyot Neshama. It's in Masechet Mikvaot, Perek Zayin. There's 4 Mishnayot that follow out to the 4 letters of Neshama, Nun, Shin, Mem, Hey. I'm going to say it, I'm going to explain it, and I'm going to run through it fast. We're talking about a mikveh here. If wine or mochal, it's like a substance, a colorful substance, and the coloring of the water is changed. A mikveh has to have 40 seah. According to the Chazon Ish, it's 937 liters. According to the Reb Chaim Nah, it's 732. But the minimum is 40 seah. 40 seah has to look like water. So if it doesn't look like water, if it looks colorful, it has a different color. We're going to hear in the Mishnah, it's going to talk about different colors. Shlosha lugim mayim. In order to passel a mikveh, you need 3 lugim of water that is pumped water, not came down naturally rainwater. So we don't have a full 3 kortov. We have 3 lugim minus a kortov of wine. So now we have a pitcher, let's say, with 2.9 liters or 2.9 lugim and a little pint of red wine inside that water. So we don't have 3 lugim of water shuluvim, of pumped water, because it looks like wine now. And it looks like wine. And it poured into the mikveh, lopsalo. It doesn't passel the mikveh because it's not 3 lugim of mayim shuvim. It's not full amount of water. It looks like wine. What happens if shlosha lugim mayim chaser kortov, v'nofal letochan kortov chalav? Instead of wine, there's a kortov, a pint of milk. But the milk didn't change the color of the water. It looks like 3 liters of water, lugim of water. Even though it looks like water, those 3 lugim, but it's not 3 lugim of mayim shuvim because there's a kortov, a pint of milk. So the Mishnah, according to the Tanakama of the Mishnah, lopsalo, it doesn't passel that mikveh. Rabbi Yochanan ben Nurio says, it depends on what it looks like. Even on the first, the Mishnah, the reish of the Mishnah, even the wine or the milk, if it didn't change the coloring of the water and it looks like water, according to Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, that will passel the mikveh. But if it doesn't look like water, it looks like milk now, it looks like wine now, then it won't passel the mikveh. Mishnah Shlishit on the letter Neshama Mem. Mikveh sheyesh bo 40 seah mechuvanot. We're talking about a mikveh that's exactly at the size of the shear. 40 seah. Yardu shnayim v'tablu ze achar ze. We have 2 people going down and they go into the mikveh and they come out one after the other. What happens? The first guy still has water touching his body. So he's already out. And the guy that's in the mikveh is toivel with less than 40 seah. So the Mishnah says, Harishon Tahor, the first one is holy, he is purified. Hasheni Tameh, the second one is Tameh. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Im hayu raglav sherishon nogot b'mayim af hasheni tahor. If the guy that is standing still in the water, he's on the top stair, and the other guy's in the mikveh, because his feet are still touching, we look at all the water on his body as one sheet of water connected to the mikveh. It's called gud achit. Everything's connected, and the person in the mikveh, the second person is tar too, because we look at the water connected on the first guy's body, part of the mikveh. He took this garment. We have to remember at times of Chazal, when Beis HaMikdash we had Tuman Tara, everything we had to keep is like contamination of corona. Did he touch it or didn't he touch it? So everything that was contaminated that you had to take to the mikveh. And so it could be clothing, it could be vessels, it could be a bed, a cupboard. Everything needs mikveh if it was contaminated. So now this guy comes with a piece of, we're talking about an exact size mikveh with 40 seah. He puts in this sagos, which is a leather or a wool garment. The garment now absorbed a big amount of water, and he brings it up from the mikveh. Mikzato nogea b'mayim. If the garment is still touching the mikveh, tahor, it's pure. Hakar hakeset shelor. What happens if we have a leather pillow or a leather cover? We have a problem now. The mikveh is exactly 40 seah. He's going to lift out this leather pillowcase, and he's going to pull out water. He's going to pour back the water. The water that he's pouring back is going to passel the mikveh because there's more than 3 lugim of mayim shuvim. So what should he do? The Mishnah says, mayim shebetocham shuvim. What should he do? Keitzad yaseh madbilan u'ma'aleh otam derech shulem. He should take the corners of the garment or the pillowcase or the cover and lift it from the sides, that the water inside should run out into the mikveh, and that shouldn't be mayim shuvim, that the mikveh should be passel. The last Mishnah, Lilu Nishmat Meir ben ציון, he built bo et hamita. He brought a bed to be toivel. What happens? They didn't have tiling at the time in the mikvahs. The bottom of a mikveh was muddy. So what happened would be the 4 legs of the bed would go into the mikveh and stick into the mud. That part of the mikveh, that part of the bed isn't getting water now. So what should he do? He says, the Mishnah says Torah. The bed is tar. Why? The water comes before the legs go into the mud. There's a few explanations if the water goes into the holes or the water already touched the legs of the bed before it got down to the bottom. Mikveh shemimav merudadim. We're talking about a very shallow mikveh. Very shallow, and you can't go into toivel because it's only, let's say, 10 centimeters. So what do? Kovesh afilu chavilei etzim afilu chavilei kanim kedei shitpechu hamayim v'yored betovel. What should we do? We want to create a higher tie, so we bring in pieces of wood, we bring in pieces of something that will raise the water to one side of the mikveh, and you could toivel in that type of mikveh. What happens if you have a needle? You want to toivel your needle. If you're going to throw it into the mikveh, you're not going to find it. So what do? Machachi netunal ma'alot ha'ma'ara. Ma'ala is a madriga, is a step. You put the needle on the top step of the mikveh where there's no water. Hayam olichu mevi b'mayim. You make like a little wave. You take the water and you pour it on top of that needle. Kevan shavar alea hagal teora. The minute that wave covered that needle, then the needle becomes tar. And the next mitzvah, which comes right after the Perek Zayin, is Eretz Yisrael Torah u'mikvoteach Torim. Eretz Yisrael is holy and purified, and all their mikvahs are kosher. So that's the Mishnayos Lilu Yishmot Zaidi. I'm gonna open up the mics now. Let's not all talk together, but I would like to suggest, let's start from my father. Let's go according to age. We'll have Ruthie, Malka, Sheila. Anyone from the siblings would like to say something regarding Zaidi, and I'll conclude with a very small shir that I heard today. I read a few days ago. and I think it'll be appropriate. It's connected to what Zadie was, and so I'm unmuting everyone. Please keep your sounds down. If I'm going to hear sounds in the background, I'm going to mute you. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes, Daddy.
I don't see
Okay.
you. Oh yeah, I see Baruch.
Okay.
I have you.
All I wanted to say was that I am extremely gratified and extremely proud of my brothers and sisters that were able to participate in this shiur of the Mishnah, Le'ilui Nishmas Daddy. And I want to wish you all a lot of nachat and mazel from your children, grandchildren, and everybody. And in the schus of this, that Zadie should have an aliyah.
Amen.
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 Amen. And you, Ruthie, would you like to say something?
If I can do it without crying, then I'd be able to. Like Manu said, it's 30 years, but it's
31.
31.
31.
30. It's not 31.
1989. We're in 2020.
I was pregnant. I was pregnant with Shai.
1989.
31.
Shai.
1989.
31 years.
Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The important thing is Daddy would be so proud of this whole, of all of you being together, and especially that are very close to each other, and that was the most important thing to Daddy, for each one of us to be close to each other no matter what. If we had different ideas, if we thought differently, nothing like being close to your family, your brother and your sister, and that's what we are. And it's very hard for me to think that after so many years. Anyway, my children are watching too, and Daddy was somebody who learned the Judaic, the Jewishness on his own. He didn't, when he came over from Romania, he was not what he was when he left this world. He was so knowledgeable. He went to cheers. He did all kinds. I see you, Malka. Anyway, his neshama should have an aliyah.
Amen.
Amen. Auntie Ruth, Auntie Malka, if you would like to say a few words, open your mouth.
First of all, I would really like to compliment Tzvi, because this would not happen if he didn't organize it. So really, kol hakavod to Tzvi. And secondly, this is, as Ruthie said, the one thing that stands out of growing up with such amazing parents, family unity was the most important thing. As Ruthie said, if we have differences of opinion, we just rise and we're there for each other. And I feel a little bad in the future. I think I would like to do this on a Sunday morning, because all my children work, and I don't think any of them are on this chat today. So I feel bad that they are not with us, but we can think about it for the future. Really, to know all of you seeing as we siblings are aging gracefully, how we just love being with each other, how we love doing things with each other. In fact, I was looking forward to going to Israel for Sukkot, but I don't think it's happening. So I just can say, I love you all. I miss Daddy and Mommy so very much, but I think they would really, really be very, very proud. And I have to thank Mommy and Daddy for my husband, Louis, because they were the ones that introduced me to Louis, and they told me, you marry Louis, you'll go far. So I think I have to say, thank you, Louis. Daddy's,
thank you, Daddy and
thank
Mommy.
you, Daddy and Mommy, and Daddy's neshama should have an aliyah.
Uncle Salim, it's your turn now. I'm muting everyone else.
1 minute, just 1 minute.
Oh, wait, Uncle Lou, would Uncle Lou like to speak first?
Okay, I'll just say a very,
if you can move the camera.
a very, very short.
You're not looking in the camera.
I'll say a very short.
Hi, Tamara.
I'll just say a few short words. I think it's most apropos this year to express a special chorus tov to Zadie, because thanks to the investments that he made 40, 50 years ago, they really flourished this year, and each and every one of us are able to share in and participate in the wonderful, enormous profits that they earned. And for most of us, it's a very, very important means of not only of support, but to enable us to live the lifestyle that we are living. So I want to express a special, of course, a tov to him on Malka's behalf and my behalf for all that he has done and what he is continuing to do for us 31 years later.
That's it.
Zvi, I have to go. Could I talk now a few minutes? Because I have to.
Salim gives you permission because he was supposed to speak now.
Okay, so ask him because I have to leave.
Mine is very short and sweet.
Okay.
I have the floor or not?
Yes, talk.
Yeah, okay. I just want to tell you, like, after I got married, many people in my family, they were very astonished. They said, how come you're davening, how come you're eating Ashkenazi food? Is this Ovi? Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So again, I promise that it's going to be short and sweet. In all fairness, I want to tell you that Zadie did remind me that the call is mine. He told me the call is yours and we will respect it. He said, but if you choose like to eat rice on Pesach and stuff like that, etc., you will be coming to our house, but we will not be coming to yours to eat. I got a very short thought and I told him, listen, as it is, I love Chazanut. I love it very much. I like the food, the Yiddish food and the Shiva food. So definitely my choice is to continue davening in the Yiddish way and to eat the Yiddish food. Mind you, this next Friday night, because it is his Yurtzeit, I will be going to the Spanish-Portuguese to daven Mincha. But for the rest, I adopted because it's Zadie's real Yurtzeit this coming Friday.
Salim, I will join you at the show.
I will be going in Zoom, my dear friend.
Okay, send me the
Okay, so I just want to say, I don't regret that I took this decision 1 second, okay? Baruch, you have the floor.
Yes.
Baruch, your turn, please.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, Sheila, you'll talk after Baruch because Baruch has to leave.
I'm sorry I have to. I'm sorry I have to leave. I'm only going to talk a few minutes. I'm so, first of all, the 31 years, it seems like it's yesterday. And I had the honor of being with Zadie for a few years before he passed away. I was living in Montreal. And there's a lot of stories that I could tell you about Zadie because I was very close to him in the past in his late years. But one of the things that it stands out the most with him, that he was so sincere and every word that came out of his mouth was emet, and it was true and honesty. If the way he dealt with business or with people, you saw it with people that used to come to his house and ask for tzedakah, the way he used to do it in such an honorable way, not to mevayesh the other person. And I'm so appreciated that I had this zchut to be a few years in Montreal and really being close to him. A little funny story about Zaidi. I used to take him to the bank always. I used to drive him because at that age already, he couldn't drive, but he still wanted to drive. So I used to take him to the Toronto Dominion to the bank. And then it happened that on the way back, Zaidi says to me, I'm driving. I tell him, Zaidi, you can't drive. And Timalka said, I'm not allowed to let you drive. So he picked up his cane, he pokes me, and he says, move aside, I'm driving. I couldn't argue with Zaidi. I let him drive. He drove back to Wilderton. To get out of the parking spot, he banged the car in front, he banged the car in the back, he again in the front. But Baruch Hashem, we got home safely. And then I told Auntie Malka, I said, listen, you know, Auntie Malka, I said, Zaidi, he wanted to drive. I couldn't, you know, stop him and that. And Auntie Malka said, you're not allowed to let him drive. He's not allowed to drive. He's not allowed to drive. So, Bekitzo, it's 31 years, but it seems like it's yesterday because we loved him so much and we learned from him so much that it feels like he's with us. It's true, not in Gashmiut, but his personality and the way he was and the way we're acting today and all the grandchildren and the children and everybody. It's exactly the way he wanted us to be, that we're all now together and we're all talking and we're talking about him and we're saying things about him. This is exactly the way he taught us how to live, how a Jew is supposed to maintain his life. And may he rest in peace, and that the Neshama should have an Aliyah, and we should have the Mashiach already, that we should have the Tchias Amesim, that we should all be together.
Amen. Shkoyach Baruch. I'm opening up this thing for Auntie Sheila to say a few words.
Oh, I'm very happy that Baruch just spoke because I hope Baruch is listening. Is he listening? Baruch, are you there?
He's listening.
Okay. I just want everybody, I want to remind everybody, when I saw Baruch now, I was thinking, I will remember so clearly. We were in the hospital and Baruch, it's very emotional for me. Baruch went to shave Zaidi. He took such good care of him, like it was his child. And he took care of him and he helped him put on his tefillin and he helped him shave and he helped him get into bed and out of bed. He was just so, so wonderful. I'm sure Zaidi remembers this and I think everybody should know what a wonderful, wonderful grandson Baruch was and how he treated my father. And I'll never forget it. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Auntie Sheila, for your kind words. The truth of the matter is, if we're going now to the next generation of grandchildren to speak, so I'm not the oldest. I see Sally's online, so I'd like to give Sally the opportunity if she'd like to speak and say a few words in memory of Zaidi, and then maybe I'll speak, and whoever else wants to talk is invited to talk. Oh, here's Sally's.
Hi, everybody. I came in the middle. I thought this was happening at 1 today, but I'm happy to be part of it and feel close to everybody by virtual connection. It's a great occasion for everybody to get together, and wonderful to remember Zaidi and how much we loved him and his influence on the family. So this is great, but I would like us to continue on other days. I think it was a week ago or something, Betty's family on a Sunday had a Zoom cookie baking just so they could get together, and everybody baked cookies in their own houses from around the world. Somebody supplied a recipe and everybody did it together. So you could do all kinds of random things, but since we're so far apart and so spread out as a family, it's nice to have some excuse to get together periodically.
Thank you, Sally. You know, I was at my father's house yesterday, and my father has on the wall, he has a tree, a family tree. And we were looking at the tree, and it was done, Malka prepared that tree exactly 13 years ago. It was on their 50th wedding anniversary. And I look at the tree, and I look at Malka, and I look at Chanaleh, and I say, I bet you there's half of what we are today. And we start counting, we make a calculation that today, we believe just my father's family is 90 people. And there was 45 people on the wall, on the picture. And I'm saying to myself today, Zadie's not alive? I have a mayor sand. Brian has a mayor sand. Josh Messer has a mayor. Malka has a Shia mayor. We have so many mayors walking around us. Zadie's not alive, not only in his heart, in physical. I'm looking at Mayor. Look at my mayor today. He's not Zadie. He's a copy of Zadie. He's going in Zadie's steps. He learns every day. He honestly does his business. He has a family life. He has a terrific marriage with his wife. Look at his kids, bli ayin hara. So we look at this memorial, but it's not a memorial. It's a living testimony to Zadie's life. And that's 90 just for my father, going to the Drazen clan and to the Telio clan and to everyone, bli ayin hara, hundreds, we're over 150 or close to 200 already in the mishpacha. So I'm just going to say what I was going to end with, but I'm going to let other grandchildren say. I'm going to make it very short. This parsha talks about the Golel Ir Miklat. And I just heard today a eulogy on Rab Nachum Rabinovich, the Rosh Yeshiva Ma'ale Adumim. He passed away, a professor and a tremendous Talmid Chacham, 92 years old, and Rabbi Jonathan Sachs. I really recommend you to listen to him on YouTube, how he eulogizes Rab Nachum Rabinovich. And he says that someone that slaughtered, someone that killed someone unintentionally, and he has to flee to an Ir Miklat. He has to flee to one of these 6 cities that were quarantined, closed up to protect these people from Goel Adam, from the people that wanted to kill them. And the Torah says, V'chai bahem, chaish, he has to live there. So Chazal explain, what is you have to live there? Hagoleh le'ir miklat, rabo goleh imo. With someone that goes to an Ir Miklat, that goes to Golus, he has to go with his rabbi, because you do not have life. You might have physical life, but if you don't have learning, you don't have your Torah, you don't have your Rebbe with you, that is not considered life. And someone that goes to an Ir Miklat goes with his Rebbe. And he was talking about Rab Nachum Rabinovich. He was very close to him. But I was thinking of Zadie. Zadie had on his desktop a Chokli Yisrael. He would never go to bed without Shtayim Mikra v'Echad Targum. His life was his learning. His wife was the Shurim in Shul, in the Rabbi Kaufman, in the Young Israel, and in Miami, and all the Shurim in the Sovereign in Florida. That was his chayut. That was his life. Whenever he came to Israel on our weddings, on our simchas, and our pesachs, and that was his life. Always, what are you learning? That was his life. So that's the short Dvar Torah I was planning to say in memory of Zadie. And Pesach Sheni, my father started off with the Mishnah on Pesach Sheni, which is tonight, which is in another hour. So the Neshama having an Aliyah, the Kranken having a Rafia, and Am Yisrael having a Geula and Yeshua, and we should, Bezrat Hashem, not Zoom, but be together like we were 2.5 years ago on the great 60th anniversary of my parents, and hopefully this corona disease, Yeshuat Hashem Kerefine, could be dissolved, and we'll forget about it. And there's good things that happened with the virus too, things that we could look at and see that things that were good. I'm opening up the speakers to any of the grandchildren that would like to say. I see Malka's picking her finger, so I'm going to let Malka, my sister, to say a few.
Okay, I'm going to take off my mask. You hear me? Yeah. So first thing, a big shakoyach, and it's so nice to see everybody. We had a bit of problems with our big TV, so I only see Tzvi, but I'm happy everyone's here. I want to share a memory about Zadie, and it connects a lot to what Baruch spoke about. And this is a story that I'll never forget. Bubby and Zadie Sand were visiting in Israel. They came for a month, and I was already married with 4 children. So I was an adult, and I don't have to tell you how close I was to Bubby and Zadie. In any case, they were at the house, and I don't know, I was talking to my father, and Zadie heard the conversation, and he called me over, and he said to me, Malka, you didn't speak with respect to your father. I said, what do you mean? He said, that's not the way you speak to a father. So immediately, you know, I went over to my father and I said, Daddy, I'm apologizing. I didn't speak respectful to you. My father said to me, Malka, you didn't do anything wrong. You didn't say anything wrong. But Zadie felt that I did something wrong, that I wasn't respectful to my father. Now, he didn't think, he thought about me. He thought that it's his job, that if he sees something wrong, or if I'm not doing kibud av v'em in the right way, he should correct me. And even though I was an adult, he felt, he's like my father. I'm his child. And you know, it was a lesson to me because my father always tells me, you never stop being a father. There's no such a thing. It doesn't matter how old you are and how old your child is, you're still a father. And I think Zadie Sand took on the responsibility that if he felt that something was wrong, he would say it, because his whole life was emes. Like Baruch said, if he thought something was unfair, he said it. And I feel he gave me a gift because he taught me not just how to respect my parents. And I want to share a story about Auntie Malka. I'll never forget that when my father was ill and I was busy, she phoned me up and she said to me, Malka, you're taking such good care of your father. And what did she say to me? She said, Malka, I wish my father was alive. I don't care in what condition, that I would be able to take care of my parents. And I know Auntie Malka and Auntie Sheila, of course, took care when they were in Montreal, and Auntie Ruthie and Uncle Julius took care, and Auntie Ruthie and whoever was there, it doesn't matter which one, and Auntie Shani, all the years that she was alive, how she took care of her parents. So I think that the message I want to give to whoever's on this Zoom and who's ever listening is to understand that the important things was always acknowledged. And this should be part of our DNA. When you speak about all the people and all the roots, that we should understand that the way we behave, and especially how do we behave in our family and amongst each other, that's where you're judged. I want to thank everyone, and I want to tell everybody how much I love you and how everyone's dear, and any communication or phone call or WhatsApp, you should know it's something that we should treasure forever. Amen.
Whoever would like to speak now, unmute yourself on your speaker, because everyone's muted.
Hello.
And you could
Beautiful Malka.
Okay, does Heidi, would you like to say something? Josh, Jeremy?
But I want to thank Tzvi for organizing it. It was very nice.
It was my pleasure. It's my real pleasure. My schus.
I wanna say something.
Oh, Hanan.
So I don't know if everyone can see everyone here, but my father isn't here today, and I wanted to talk on his behalf.
Go ahead.
Unfortunately I was not alive to meet Zadie Sand. he was a great man, and my father, he never really told me a lot about him, but he did tell me about him. And he told me that, I don't know if you guys know, but before he was married, when he was younger, he wasn't really religious, you know? He didn't live in a very, very religious home. And he told me that, you know, it took him a while to realize that he was going to Zadie San's house, and he would always see you know, Zadie San would always say, you know, come daven, you know, come to shul, all of that. And you know, he really inspired my father, and my father, you know, he said, you know, I want to become religious. I want to be involved in everything and how everything's amazing, and, you know, with the whole family and everything. So he married a religious woman, and he made his family religious with everything he can do. And yeah. So even though
I want to thank Hanan, because Hanan is really not a direct descendant of Zadie San, but he's bringing us a different aspect from someone on outside, how he affected other lives. Zadie affected other people's lives, and his father, Stephen, my first cousin from my mother's side, was affected from him. And look at that, how Hanan is able to tell us something as an outsider, because we don't have anyone here except for the closest direct descendants of that. Thank you, Hanan. That was very beautiful that you said that.
Very nice, Hanan. Very nice.
You know, even though I never met him, I don't think Aviel met him. He was for sure an amazing man. You know, someone who really followed the Torah, someone who really believed. You know?
That's true.
Could I say something?
Yes, Heidi.
Yeah, I just wanted to say something funny that I remembered on Pesach. We were at the table and we were reminiscing about all of the Seders in the Sovereign Hotel and at the Crown in the Caribbean. And we had this, I was telling my kids how Zadie used to bring like huge garbage bags with toys for Afikoman presents. I don't know if people like to remember, they were older. They probably got better things like cars and things that weren't put in garbage bags. I'm not sure what presents they got. But we were all laughing and remembering how I remembered that we used to sit at the table and the waiter would come in to order and he would say, let's say, how many want chicken? People would raise their hand. How many want beef? Raise their hand. And at the end, he had like 4 meals for each person, that every person just kept raising their hand multiple times, and all kinds of fun family seders that we had in Miami Beach.
So if you're mentioning Miami Beach and Pesach, me and Tamara, we were celebrating Pesach in 1983 in the Sovereign Hotel. And we were with Pesach with Bubby and Zadie. And it was the first day of Chol Hamoed, and we were outside at the pool. And Tamara's in her 9th month pregnant with Reut. And I look at Uncle Julius and I say to Uncle Julius, I bet you $100 I'll take Tamara and I'll throw her into the pool. He says, okay, you got to bet. I said, I didn't trust him. So he took out $100 and we had Avi Dolphin was there, Maniku's son. And he was holding the $100. And I go over to Tamara, she's in her 9th month, and I pick her up and I throw her into the pool, but I jump into the pool with her, fully dressed. So right away, Uncle Julius pulls out the $100 from Avi Dolphin's hand, and Zadie comes out to the pool, and we're soaking wet. And the first thing, what does he say? I have to take a picture. And he takes out his camera, and we still have that picture of me and Tamara soaking wet. She's in her 9th month with Reut, and good, happy times. I got at the end, I got the $100 out of Uncle.
You became $100 richer.
Okay, see, Hanale joined our Zoom. Would you like to say a few words? Hanale? I can't unmute you. Unmute you. We can't hear. Oh.
Hi, everybody. I only joined now. I was busy. A minute, let me get away from the noise.
We want to wish your husband a happy birthday today. Nati, it's 52.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't talk. We were busy with his birthday.
Good.
This is Sally. I want to add a happy birthday to Nati and also to my daughter Shanna, who's 27 today.
Oh, Mazel Tov, Dana. Are they still in Burlington, or they went back to New York?
No, they're here. They're here.
Send their love. Send them our love to Freddie Rico and to Shana. I didn't think of sending Josh the link. He probably would have joined us too.
I sent him the link earlier, but he said he had another shear at the same time. So he said he would join if it finished early, but I don't think he's here.
Is math class considered a shear?
No.
Math?
Yeah, it's a shear, but not a Torah shear.
No,
Josh,
he
would you like?
I'll be having math soon.
Izzy, would you like to say something on behalf of your father? Your father would like to say something?
Here's
here's Josh.
Hey there. Hey everybody. I'm also very thankful, for being here in Israel. It's definitely Zaidi again, Uncle Manu, but through Zaidi and then passed down. So I've got to thank Uncle Manu and Zaidi for my whole family being here. And it's an incredible thing to be living in Israel as a Jew, and I'm so thankful for that. It wouldn't have happened clearly if Zaidi was not so Zionistic and convinced everybody in his family that this is the right place to be. So thank you very much for that, Zaidi. Yeah.
Josh. Jeremy, would you like to say anything? I unmuted you.
Sure. I was very young when Zaidi passed away, so I didn't really I had a good connection for what I had as a little kid, 7, 8 years old. But things that I remember are like visiting his house on Walderton, having the sugar-free candy in the bowl that I would get when I'd go over there. That's the type of thing that I was thinking about. They had the 2 chairs where Bubby and Zaidi would sit next to each other. It felt you could feel the love between the two of them, just how they would, they'd be sitting there smiling, loving to see the grandchildren right next to each other.
Watching The Price is Right.
Yes, The Price is Right was constantly on. I remember that.
Watches that.
And then the other things that I remember are how my mom would, I'd get a warning before visiting their house. It'd always be like, Zaidi has a mustache. It's prickly. You're going to give him a kiss, and it doesn't matter if it's prickly or not. And I'd go and I'd get my kiss from Bubby and from Zaidi. And then most of my other memories are stuff that you see from family people talking. So like you could see the reverence, from my mom, from Auntie Malka, who I would see regularly as I'm growing up. And whenever they would mention something about him, or just the way that they would speak about him, or the fact that we're all doing a Zoom together so many years later. I hear about in the world all sorts of people that when they pass away, they get very few people that maybe come to the Levaya. It happens. There's people that are like that. There's families that are not so well connected. And the fact that 30 years later, there's such a deep connection in the family, it's a very special thing that I could see here. We're a lucky family to be so connected years later. There's people that just either they have no family or even people with family. I've been to a funeral where there's very few people. It's a sad thing. It's a sad thing to think about.
You're right. We're very fortunate. And we have to realize that we should not take anything for granted. Being so close to my first cousins and my second cousins and my third cousins and anyone that comes to Israel, it's a given that we're going to get together and we're going to see each other and we're going to. And I think it's thanks to Zaidi and Bubby that really put it in their children, and it's gone down to the 2nd and 3rd generation. Look how our kids and how our cousins like to mingle and to celebrate together. And let's pray that by the time of Hanal's wedding, Shaked's wedding, we'll be out of this terrible virus and we'll be able to get together and sing and dance and party. So I see Davey joined the Zoom. Maybe you'd like to say a short Dvar Torah or something in memory of Zaidi. I can't unmute you. I don't know why.
I would just like to just add on to what Jeremy said. I think I said this at a Yurtzeit many years ago, that I felt that I never didn't have the privilege to meet Zaidi San, but he's a person who, from what I heard of him, was what you could call larger than life, and you could see his imprint on his family even till today. And just adding what I said, adding on to what we just said now from Jeremy, is that I felt that that this family is a family that's very chesed oriented towards family, but it doesn't stay in the family because they define family outwards, and they define family to include as many people as possible. So on one level, all of Klal Yisrael they feel like is family, but on the other hand, just the family unit, more people just get added in. And that's when I joined the family, I almost immediately felt like a part of this whole big family. And I felt that that's something, hearing about Zaidi is Zaidi Sand is what started from him. And that he had a very big influence on that. So that's something that I feel like I benefit even from today, that effect that he had on the greater Sand family. And it's something that I feel very strongly to this day.
Yishkoyach, Davey. I just got a YouTube subscription that I have to the Kotel davening, because the first few weeks we couldn't get out of the house, and I've been davening with the minyan there.
I didn't hear from Auntie Ruthie. I didn't hear from Auntie Ruthie. She's on.
She spoke first.
Oh, she spoke first.
The first one to speak. You joined too late. Okay, and Nati, Mazel Tov. Nati's here. Maybe you want to say happy birthday to the birthday boy. Nati?
You have to unmute yourself.
I don't think he hears us. Okay, I'm going to conclude this session. The Neshama, as they say, Tien Nishmatot Tzora B'Tzor HaChaim. It was really great to seeing everyone, and I unmuted everyone now, so if you want to say something, now's the time to join together in talking.
But we don't see each other.
Oh, on the corner right, you have gallery view. Press the gallery view on the corner right of your thing.
That's only if you're on a computer. If you're on a phone, you have to swipe right.
If you're on a phone, you just have to swipe alongside, and you can see
on the iPad. There's like I do it every day in class. There's like a thing where you press. It's like gallery view. Yeah, you tap that, and it like shows like a bunch.
Gallery view.
Right. Then you can see everyone together.
Where are
you? Don't have a phone.
Okay, we're going to sign off.
Okay, I'm signing off. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Shalom.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.